Electric bikes are getting more sophisticated. They're no longer a motor and battery bolted onto an otherwise regular bicycle. Bird is a company trying to leverage technology in e-bikes, and they've just arrived in the UK. This is what they'll be selling, the BirdBike. It's a solid looking road bicycle that majors on design appeal. Before we tell you more about the BirdBike though, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to our YouTube channel. There are two versions of the BirdBike, step over A-frame and step through V-frame. We've got the A-frame version here because the V-frame version isn't available in the UK yet. You can get three colours too, stealth black, gravity grey and starling blue. Can you guess what colour this is? Yep, no prizes for realising that this is stealth black. Currently, Halfords is stocking the A-frame version of the Bird for a princely £1,999. All bikes have the UK limited 250 watt motor and a 346 watt hour 36 volt battery. There's a 2-year warranty and Halfords offers some premium aftercare options. The BirdBike is a mean looking two-wheeler in this stealth black. The design also looks robust with hints of the mountain bike about it, although this is very much a road bike. There's a clear resemblance to a Van Moof e-bike. The motor is in the rear wheel hub rather than the crank. It's from the highly regarded Bafang, so Chinese made, although Bird is an American company. This top bar is pretty high and the battery is in this diagonal bar. There's a sturdy integrated kickstand. This is a reasonably heavy bike. It weighs about 23 kilograms, which is a little on the high side. Some of the other bikes we've tested are more like 22, 21, but so it's not terrible. Bird says these tyres are 28 inch, but actually they're labelled 700C, which is 29 inch, and a standard size for this kind of bike. We're not sure about the amount of cabling protruding here, particularly near the handlebars. It looks a bit flimsy. We also see a few cut corners with these plastic pedals, not what we'd expect from a 2 gram bike. We also don't know why this gap exists and is facing forwards. It's sure to catch water as you ride in the rain. On the other hand, although these are not premium spokes on the wheels, there are a lot of them, so these will be very robust and able to avoid pothole damage. The tyres are also puncture resistant ones from Kenda. This is no racing bike, it's a commuter bike. But the tyres are somewhere between a road bike and a mountain bike in thickness, or they have a solid central section, so should be efficient. The fatness should also smooth out some of the bumpiness of terrible British roads. There is no suspension, however, which is questionable when some commuter bikes at least have this on the front forks. The saddle is a little firm for our liking too. This is also a bike for a fairly tall person. Supported heights are between 173 and 190 centimetres. So that means if you're under 5'8", forget about it, and the top limit is 6'3" and 120 kilograms, which luckily I'm not quite there yet. This high central crossbar does make it a little bit difficult to get on this bike, however. So I'm 5'10", I have slightly short legs for somebody that height, maybe a 30-inch inside leg. I'm pretty much flat on the bar here. Since this is a commuter bike, you are going to be getting off and on for traffic lights quite regularly, so this is a bit of a problem. Just to give you an idea of how much fun that could be, this is me trying to get off this bike. The seat's also really hard to adjust. You actually have to remove this lug here and stick an Allen key inside here, which means you can't actually adjust the seat height without tools. It's also strange that they have put a water cover here and not at the front here. So we do rather regret the lack of a quick release clamp. However, that does mean that nobody's going to be nicking your seat anytime soon. The V-frame version of this bike supports people down to as little as 5 foot tall, and it'll be a lot easier to get off and on from. So we do hope that version arrives in the UK sometime soon. The BirdBike doesn't come with any storage carrying facilities as standard, but you do get these bolts on the front for attaching a basket or front panniers, and you get these ones at the rear for attaching panniers or maybe a rack here, and you could attach a water bottle holder here as well. So there are plenty of potential options if you need them. One of the neat things about the BirdBike, as you'd expect from a Californian tech company, is how nicely the electric bits are seamlessly blended in with the rest of the controls of the bike. The display is set in the top of the handlebar upright, and you might not even notice it's there when off. Turning the system on requires a long press on the power button, and then nearby plus and minus buttons vary the motor power. There's a walk function that kicks in when you press that minus button that helps you a little bit. The small LCD shows remaining battery at the top, speed under that, then level of assist, and finally a trip meter at the bottom. A short press on the power button toggles the meter between single trip and total distance. Pressing the plus button for 2 seconds turns the light off and on. These are integrated into the front and rear of the crossbar. There's also a settings mode you access by pressing both the plus and minus buttons at the same time. You can switch between miles and kilometres, adjust the speed limit between 7 and 20 miles per hour, although the latter is technically not legal on UK roads. You can also adjust the wheel diameter, display brightness and power off timer, as well as resetting the trip meter. One nice little feature that we appreciate is when this bike gets to 300 miles, the LCD panel will prompt you to service it. Aside from the electrical power, there's a 7-speed Shimano Tourney gear system, which is about the right number of gears for a city bike, although it does limit the top speed. There's a mechanical bell, and we wonder why it was integrated into this assembly. If it stops working, you have to remove the whole thing. One of the things we do like about the BirdBike is the electric range. That 346 watt-hour battery is enough for up to 60 miles of range in eco mode. Lots of e-bikes quote their battery size in amp hours, and this one is 9.6 amp hours, which is pretty much on the large size. It's similar in size to the Mark II bikes we've tested. It will take about 4 hours to charge on the supplied 13 amp charging block. The battery is removable and locks into place, but Bird didn't give us the key, so we can't show you this. You can still charge it attached to the bike though, even if this is a bit of a pain, meaning you have to take the whole bike to the charging location. The limitations on e-bikes in the UK mean that they are legally limited to 25 kilometers per hour, which is 15.5 miles per hour. Obviously you can go faster, but you'll need to supply the power with your own legs once you exceed this limit, unless you are a bit naughty and change the settings. With the gearing on this bike, an average cyclist will struggle to get past 30 kilometers an hour. That's about 20 miles an hour in old money. The pedal sensor is responsive, and the motor kicks in with just a split-second pause, which is exactly what you need when pushing off in city traffic. The walk mode needs the bike to be moving to supply power, however, so you can't use that to push off. Overall, the Bird does the key-meter job reasonably well, apart from that high central bar. It's powerful enough to cope well with steep hills, which again is a major reason why you get an e-bike in the first place. The Tektro disc brakes provide plenty of stopping power. However, we are surprised to see mechanical rather than hydraulic action, which will mean you need to adjust them occasionally. That is a bit of a pain for a commuter bike, and the Mark II X-Cross 450 and 520 actually have hydraulic brakes for the same sort of money. We've already mentioned the integrated LED lights front and rear that have also got a built-in reflector. The bell is reasonably noisy for such a small thing. With those thick tyres and the sturdy build, this feels like a pretty safe bike. The BirdBike is expensive, but it's clearly designed to compete directly with things like the Van Moof, which is a couple of £100 more expensive. However, the Mark II X-Cross 450 and 520 are about the same price, and they also have hydraulic brakes, more gears and front suspension. We do like the unfussy looks and solid build of the BirdBike, but we'd recommend that you go and try it for yourself at Halfords before buying. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to our YouTube channel.